All right, what's going on, everybody? It's Coach Hayward here. It's Caden here today. Today we're going to be going over insulin resistance. So we're going to talk about how insulin typically works, the normal functions of this hormone, and then we're going to talk about the two main contributors to why insulin resistance happens and how we can fix it. Now, one thing you should know is that not all cases are actually fixable. Okay, when it comes to insulin resistance, and the reason why I want to make this train today, guys, is because some studies show that in the US alone, there's at least 1 out of 3 adults, like 18 to like 45 plus or so, that have insulin resistance, which is pretty crazy to think about, right? It's pretty crazy to think that that many people are dealing with this. And it's very saddening, though, because insulin resistance can lead down a very bad path, okay? It can lead down to a lot of other bad health issues that we just do not want to have. So that's why I want to make this training for you guys today to help you get your health on track. So all I ask is that if this does help you, if you learn anything, even one thing, make sure you subscribe down below, guys, so more people can see this, so they can help themselves too. Okay, perfect. So let's dive in here, guys. So first and foremost, let's talk about how a normal body works with insulin. Okay, so insulin, how does our body work with insulin? So insulin works this way. So your body breaks down food. So right, we're eating food, comes in, we break it down. Okay, so we break down that food into glucose, which is our sugar. Right, it's our main source for energy. So we use that sugar for energy. Right, so I can function and talk to you guys. So glucose, also known as sugar, right, enters the bloodstream, and then that signals for your pancreas to release insulin. Okay. And now the reason why that happens is because when the insulin helps, like the insulin comes in, it helps the glucose in your blood enter into like your fat, your muscle, and your liver cells. That way it can kind of store it for energy later on, right? Use it up for energy. So that's how it works. So insulin comes in, it grabs the glucose, it helps the glucose enter into your fat, your muscle, and your liver and get it out of like your bloodstream. Okay. Once that happens, when the levels in your bloodstream decrease of your sugar, right? Then your pancreas starts producing insulin and we're good to go. Okay. The problem here when it comes to insulin resistance is that when your muscles, your fat, and your liver, those cells, when they can't properly respond to insulin, that's when insulin resistance happens. When I say they can't properly respond, that means that they can't like properly store the glucose. Okay, they can't store the sugar. So your body, your pancreas, your body's, you have all this insulin in your body. The sugar's coming through, right? But the insulin, like it's not working properly. Okay, so the sugar's staying in your bloodstream. So you're having elevated like blood glucose levels, right? So this is not good because then your pancreas makes more insulin, right, to try to keep up with the increasing blood sugar levels, and then it just leads on to more health issues over time if we let it keep going that way. Like there's a few different stages that we get to before we actually get to like type 2 diabetes, metabolic syndrome, a bunch of other health issues that are connected with insulin resistance, guys. Like it's very, very important, honestly. If you look into insulin resistance and the other health issues it connects to down the road, it would spark you. It would really motivate you if you are dealing with this to really put your foot down because you can fix it or at least manage it, which is very awesome. It's very awesome, right? Like if you are dealing with this, don't just throw in the towel. Don't just give up on your health and say, screw it, I'm just going to hop on medications or I'll just, wait until I get type 2 diabetes because you can 100% fix this, or at least manage it properly. Okay. So that's basically how it happens though there, guys. That's a little breakdown of how insulin typically works and then what happens when like it's not working properly and how it leads to insulin resistance, right? So the two main contributors to insulin resistance is number one, excess body fat. Okay. The more body fat we have, specifically belly fat, that's a massive, massive contributor to insulin resistance. The next one here is lack of movement and exercise, right? We're eating all this sugar in the day, if we're eating all this processed food, if we're eating terrible foods, and we're getting all this sugar in constantly, we're working our pancreas, we're just pumping out the insulin, and we're doing this over time, it's going to get overworked, and eventually the insulin resistance is going to happen, especially if we're not, being healthy, right? If we're not moving our body, if we're not, getting rid of that excess energy. And the issue here is like the scariest part of insulin resistance, though, guys, is that when we have insulin resistance, right, your body, instead of storing that sugar as energy, it's actually going to store it and make it into like fat. So your body's going to store it into fat. Okay, it's going to store it as fat, which makes the whole cycle repeat itself, right? Because then we're going to have more excess body fat, especially belly fat, and then it's going to keep leading to getting worse and worse and worse, because the more body fat we have, the more likely we are to have insulin resistance and just make it overall harder. So the next thing is lack of movement. Okay, you would be surprised. I believe it's like if we just lost 7% of our body weight, 7 to 10% of our body weight, we have a decrease in like getting type 2 diabetes by like 28 to like 30+%. Crazy, crazy numbers just by a little bit of weight loss. So the next one is lack of movement. When we don't move our bodies, when we're not using up that energy, storing in all the sugar, right? It's not good. It's not good at all. So I know some of you might be looking for like a magical pill here, but you're going to the wrong guy. I'm not a magical pill person. But the best thing about this, guys, is that when we get the foundation on track, it solves most of our problems. When I say foundation, I mean proper sleep, proper healthy eating most of the time, moving our bodies, working out, all the little things there, they matter the most. They matter the most. So how to fix it? Number one is a low carb diet. A low carb diet is going to help you tremendously. I'm not always about cutting out the carbs and stuff, but when it comes to insulin resistance, cutting back your carbs is going to help you out tremendously. The next one is eating more fiber. So that way it takes your body longer to digest food. You're kept full longer. So that way you're not having constant spikes. Really, really good having more fiber. Next one, same thing, more protein, just overall healthy food, more protein, salmon, more dairy in your diet, those things there, more nuts. You can eat foods that are lower glycemic, like potatoes and white bread are very high. Okay, so they're going to spike your insulin. They're going to spike your blood sugar. But if you eat foods like, I believe apples are decently well. And again, dairy, high protein, foods like that are good. Now, the next thing is, of course, cutting out processed foods, cutting out the excess sugar, like stuff like that, the white breads, pastries, stuff like that, that can help you tremendously as well. And the last one, or the second last one here, is moving your body, just working out consistently so you can use up that energy is going to help you so much. Like if you just get the fitness side of things on track, that would go a long way to helping you with your insulin resistance if that's what you're dealing with. So more fitness, more movement, I'm telling you. Fall in love with movement because it could literally save your life someday. Now, the last one, of course, is medications and drugs, right? That's the next one when it comes to helping with this. Now, remember, not all cases are fully fixable. So like get started on this today if you really care about your health and you want to make sure that you're healthy long term. Because I promise you, when you fix this right now, your future self is going to be so proud of you and they're going to be so thankful that you did. But remember, guys, there's no magical fixes to this stuff. If you want to lose weight, if you want to get healthier, if you want to feel better, it's all about building that mental callus, that mindset of like, okay, I'm going to build discipline. I'm going to move my body, even if I don't want to. I'm going to eat healthy most of the time, even if I don't want to. And I'm going to start living to get better and not living for comfort. Because ultimately, if we eat to live, or no, sorry, what's that saying where it's like, yeah, if we're just living to eat, then we're going to be living just for the taste, right? And we're going to pick the worst foods, the most unhealthiest foods, the easiest options, because it's easy, it's comforting, it's really good right now. But later on, we have to deal with the consequences. There's no if, and, or buts. Later on, we will have to deal with the consequences. And so you're really better off just to eat healthier overall. Like if there's anywhere you could start from, it's just choosing better food options, what you're bringing into your body. And I promise you too, the best thing about that is right now it might feel like impossible, right? Like, I can never see myself eating much healthier and blah, blah, blah. I get it, I was there too. But the more you do it, the more it becomes a part of who you are, where it's just a part of your identity. So it's just literally like, it's just natural to you. And it's not like I have to eat this way. You'll want to eat that way because it'll benefit you so much and you'll notice the benefits. I promise you. So anyways, guys, that's the train for today. A little quick one. We don't dive crazy deep on this. I just want to share with you guys, help you understand what insulin resistance is, how does it happen, how does it work, and the contributors and how to fix it as well. So if you like this video though, if you like this training, make sure, as always, make sure you subscribe down below and stay tuned for the next training. You can also follow me on Instagram at coach.hayward. If you have any personal questions for me, you're better off to reach out to me on there on Instagram. Other than that though, guys, have an amazing rest of your day and I'll see you later.